All right, it's July, it says 18th. So it's getting down to almost close to 20 days, 18, 20, actually 10 days from trying to find a place to move to. This is part 2, Reality Supreme Being, and still being ignored. Like I said in part 1, here this guy is the golden voice. He gets a job, and then he's interviewed on Dr. Phil, and all this attention is brought to bear on this person who just happens to have a golden voice. Well, one of the many things that happen to people on YouTube. But in this particular case, I'm, sitting here, being pushed, been pushed my whole life, being forced in different directions, impeding. We're only here once. It took me a long time to figure out what I really wanted to do in life, and at a certain age, I found out what I wanted to do, and I went for working hard, sacrificing a lot of creature comforts just so that I could get to where I was. I was knocked down quite a few times too. 2 times I was knocked down that I considered major knockdowns by outside events beyond my control, but events that were in the control of authority figures and people who are in power. It's wrong to run any kind of system that creates any fanaticism in religion, contracts, leadership, money. I mean, you're all going to die. Don't you get it? All of you. Every last one of you. I don't care whether you're working at Jack in the Box or working as a manager for storage, etc., or you're a CEO in the business group for storage, etc., or any place that you're working for. You're going to die one day. So why are you so hot and fired about bitching and complaining about somebody next door to you or down the street from you or around the corner from you? You all do that. You all gripe, complain, you do things that destroy people's lives, take people's worlds away from them. I don't go out of my way to bother people. There has to be good reason to impede or invade a person's life. And, there's no excuse for what's been done to me over and over and over and over again. The towing of my cars away, my buses, my trucks, my motorhomes, it just goes on and on. You people don't get it. I'm sure you sit in your offices and say, no, you don't get it, Caesar. No, I'm the one who's not doing anything wrong. You're the ones that have done all the wrong. And maybe to some degree it's true what I say in my other videos about there are invisible anomalies that are pushing a lot of these things in the directions they're going. It isn't just the human species that's doing it. Remember, I said that the planet Earth, if you look at all of its history through biology and everything, even down to the germs and bacteria, they're all based on one factor and one factor only. One bacteria eats another in order to survive. One life form takes the life of another in order to survive. Human beings are no different. It just gets more complex as the life form grows and gets bigger. So are there anomalies that are invisible that cause pain and agony through some legitimate form? You institute and compose these new laws and regulations, and the regulations give you the ability to step into a person's life and say, well, that doesn't look right to us, you've got to do something. Well, wait a minute. When you say that doesn't look right, what do you mean by look right? It looks wrong to you? Well, tell me why it's wrong. Now, if you ask that of an eyesore fanatic, they'd probably say, well, it's wrong to have stuff out there. Why? Well, because the city says so, or because somebody says so. I'm going, really? Why? And why does the city say so? Did you elect that person into office? Did you? I mean, I could run rings around all you people on any stage. Most people don't like me. Carl Jung, I'll tell you why they don't like me. Carl Jung, he said once, he was a student of Freud, and he kind of split from Freud because he went off in a different directions. Actually, he went off in the direction I'm in, the direction I believe in. I side more with him. And Jung said that there's a collective unconsciousness. He just didn't take it far enough. If you, in the years that passed, I'm sure he'd really be smiling right now if there is such a thing as an afterlife, that he'd go, wow, I wish I could have taken it as far as Caesar has. Is there a possibility that there are invisible anomalies that push this collective unconsciousness in a certain direction to achieve a certain end result, an end result that we're not aware of yet? That all this technology is taking us to an end result, and that these invisible anomalies I claim exist are taking advantage of that. They take advantage every time a person dies. Remember what I said? The whole planet Earth. Let's look at the history of the human race. 7,750 years of wars and bits and pieces all over the planet. This information was collected by scientists at MIT and quite a few other universities all over the world. The Bishop Museum in Hawaii has a little headstone. It says, here lies man, born such and such BC, died November the 13th on a Friday, 2026 AD, something like that. They figured out mathematically the resources that we're using up, and it's in a book published in the 70s called Limits to Growth. And in there they have a model in the book that tells you when we're going to run out. Hey, your kids are not going to be able to live off of what we're doing. If you've got a kid now, you're looking them in their face, they're going to be living on the street like me. Remember, and only less than 300 years of peace worldwide in bits and pieces. So figure those two out, and then figure this out. These invisible anomalies eat up the energies. Is it possible? I mean, we come up with it in science fiction stories, that these invisible anomalies suck up the energy of the people that live and die, the life forms. We won't just say people, all life forms, all the way down to bacteria. Everything that lives and dies and changes shape, like the theory of conservation. Energy can neither be created or destroyed. It simply changes shape. But why does it change shape? And it continues to change shape because hot gets cold and cold gets cold and cold until it becomes a black hole. Anyway, so why? You got to ask yourself, what are we doing? Was the Unabomber, was bits and pieces of what the Unabomber did partially correct? Probably. The part about technology and overdoing it, going overboard, having so many people in an uncontrolled, unchecked population. There are answers, but you've got to pick people that really think. And I'm sure there are a lot of people that have seen me rant and rave on YouTube, but the people that have stuck with it and really checked me out go, God, this guy, I know what they're thinking. The real smart ones that can see through my ranting and raving, they're going, this guy's really smart. I know that's what they're saying. I feel it. And why is he broke? Why is he on the street? Hey, collective unconsciousness, according to Carl Jung. They like to see people subconsciously. You people like to see people suffer. Just like you did in the Roman Colosseum, your ancestors did in the Roman Colosseum. The same DNA that was sitting there in the Roman Colosseum is sitting here watching this crap go on. Those that survived continue to see it. And I don't have to prove that. You know it's true. If you have any kind of good education, just a reasonable tip of the iceberg education, you know what I'm saying is true. It's in your DNA. It's there. You carry the ancestral knowledge of your ancestors all the way back. All the way back when they were chopping people's heads off and feeding Christians to the lions and Genghis Khan chopping people up in his armies and Alexander the Great, conquest of the world, I'm master of the world. Well, the world's only a tiny dot on the end of a sentence of a picture taken by Voyager 6 billion miles away at the orbit of Pluto. That's how big you are. So you should be thankful that you're even alive, and you shouldn't be making people's lives miserable. You should be helping. And you should be ashamed of yourself if you watch this for even 1 second or any of my videos and don't hack the White House and force Obama on stage with me and that crap idiot Romney. Oh, hail America, he's singing God bless America. Does he know God? Has he ever talked to God? Hey, Mr. Romney, have you talked to God? Has God talked to you? Well, he won't answer that question. Because if he said, yeah, God talks to me all the time, he'd look like an idiot, like Bush looked. God made this happen for me. I became president because God wanted me to. Oh, God, I'm so privileged that you... Did George Burns talk to you, Mr. Bush? You're publishing a book now. You know, it's always the media is bought and controlled. The media will only do an interview with you if you publish a book. Well, my book is Reality's Supreme Being. All more than 200 videos. That's my book. It's an electronic book of a man ranting and raving, telling people how wrong you are. And how wrong you and your ancestors are going to continue to be until you let people like me be in control. Because only abused people who've seen and lived like this know where all the problems are. You don't. Dr. Phil, when's the last time Dr. Phil slept in a doorway or slept outside? When's the last time you, Mr. Lyons, slept outside? I dare you, your corporate officials, you know, the TV show, what is it, Undercover Boss. Yeah. So the boss goes out and he does that. A lot of that is staged, you know, it has to be. But it doesn't matter. We're storage wars where they go, the auction guys go off and they, do storage wars and they show people's stuff being lost. They don't show the person going to the storage and saying, please don't sell my stuff, let's work something out. Or they don't show the persons that declare bankruptcy to freeze a person from selling something that a person is concerned about. If a person goes back to their storage and they're concerned about it, you should move mountains to see what you can do for them. Because you don't want their stuff. You don't want to sell their stuff. It's different if the person doesn't show up and doesn't care anymore. That's different. But when a person shows the first signs of it and they're trying to desperately hold on to something, the only reason they're there is because they lost their house, it went into foreclosure or whatever. Now you see in the papers that, people are buying again. The economy's coming back. No, that's not true. You have to have money to do that. And you have to be able to save money during the bad times. I'd like to meet anybody who's saved any money during these bad times. The only people that save money are the people that want you to buy into a program that go on late night TV and say, I can show you how to make money by buying my program. That's how he's able to be on TV. The poor person who's trying to save money from robbing Peter to pay Paul and then is trying to get a little bit of money so they can buy that program to maybe improve their life. And it may work, it may not. No. There are a lot of problems in our society that can be solved, and I have the 5-year plan. But you know what? I'd have to reveal what that 5-year plan is, and I don't think I want to share my ideas with YouTube, the people in general, the very few people that watch my videos, or Obama or Romney, because they steal by spying on me. They steal by turning that camera or that microphone to me, see me talking to other people about different ideas about how to make things better. No. I refuse to reveal my ideas because in revealing them, they steal them. And then they take credit for them. These are the kind of people that are running things. On a business level, on a private level, business enterprise level, on a public enterprising level, and on a private